Uniforms or not, some confusion for gay service members about what they can wear to this weekend's Pride Parade in San Diego. I'm Dwayne Brown. We'll try to clear it up a bit next on KPBS Evening Edition. And the Pentagon says a dietary supplement is off limits on the base, but it's still for sale in the civilian world.
And I'm Peggy Pico. Coming up on the roundtable, how politicians on both sides of the aisles are reaching out to Latino voters online. Plus, from our investigations desk, an in-depth report on a man who was shot by Border Patrol agents and lived to talk about it.
Will the start of the Del Mar horse racing season set a new attendance record? Let the betting begin. KPBS Evening Edition starts now. Active duty military members plan to march in uniform in San Diego's Gay Pride Parade on Saturday, but now gay rights activists say there's confusion whether Marines and sailors will be allowed to wear their uniforms. KPBS Home Post blogger Beth Ford Roth joins us from the News Center. Beth, why the confusion? I thought the don't ask, don't tell policy was over.
Well, the San Diego Gay and Lesbian News obtained an email sent to personnel at Naval Medical Center San Diego. Now, they were told they could march in the parade in civilian clothes, but not in uniform. Some parade organizers believe service members already have received approval to march in uniform from Defense Secretary Leon Panetta, but the author of the email says this is incorrect and that the Department of Defense will be contacting parade organizers to clarify things a little bit more.
So at this point, who can march in uniform?
Well, actually, just a few hours ago, Navy spokesman Brian O'Rourke told the San Diego Gay and Lesbian News that all sailors are allowed to march in uniform in the parade. Members of the Air Force have already been given the okay. Now, as far as the Marines and the Army go, it's still up to troops to get approval from their commanding officer before they march in uniform.
KPBS Home Post blogger Beth Ford Roth. The Marine Corps has stopped public service announcements focusing on former Camp Pendleton Marines' online activities. Gary Stein was discharged earlier this year after criticizing the president on Facebook. The Corps has used his case as an example in a PSA telling service members how to use social media. Stein says he shouldn't have been used as an example. He plans to appeal his discharge. The Defense Department has banned products containing a potentially dangerous ingredient called DMAA. The substance is marketed as an energy booster and a weight loss aid. People who have taken it say it gives them a lot of energy for a little while.
It's weird. It's like a hangover afterwards where you feel kind of like jittery for a while.
The military says DMAA might have contributed to the death of 2 soldiers and to the collapse of at least 5 other service members. The makers of the product say it's safe when taken properly, and some of the people affected have admitted taking too much. It's banned on base, but DMAA remains for sale in the civilian world. University of California regents are freezing undergraduate tuition this fall, but they may have to raise it again if voters don't pass Governor Jerry Brown's tax initiative. The 10-campus system faces a possible $250 million cut if the tax measure fails in November.
California established itself.
Today, the governor signed a bill letting California claim more than $3 billion for its high-speed rail project. The money will be combined with $2.6 billion in state funds for building the initial stretch through the Central Valley. The project still faces challenges from farm groups who filed a lawsuit and from Republicans who have promised to block future funding. It's opening day at Del Mar. This is the 75th season of racing for the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club, with nearly $8 million on the line for competitors this year. In just a few minutes, we'll introduce you to some new faces at Old Del Mar. We're still a few weeks away from when Santa Ana winds usually sweep through San Diego County, but fire officials are already concerned about dangerous conditions created by a dry winter and spring. A lot of small fires have already kept firefighters busy in the last few weeks.
In June, we had already had twice as many wildfires in California as the average, and we had burned twice as much acreage as the average. And we were well ahead of the 5-year average for both of those figures in Southern California, in California as a whole.
The Weather Service says it's keeping an eye on a possible El Nino in the eastern Pacific. It could mean some much-needed early rains in Southern California. Last week, we told you about a grand jury inquiry in the case of Anastasio Hernandez, a Mexican migrant who died after he was beaten and tased by Border Patrol agents at San Isidro 2 years ago. An investigation by our media partner iNewsSource found more people are dying following violent confrontations with border agents. KPBS investigations producer Joanne Farian has more at the roundtable.
The investigation found that 14 men and boys have died since October of 2009, but none of the agents involved have been criminally prosecuted. iNewsSource reporter Roxana Popescu traveled to Mexico to speak to a man who was shot by a Border Patrol agent and lived to tell about it.
Just on the other side of this fence, about an hour south of Tucson, is Nogales, Mexico. For Mexicans trying to get into the U.S. illegally, the dusty hills of the desert are a popular route as migrants attempt to escape the view of U.S. Border Patrol agents. But sometimes they get caught. We're here in Walker Canyon, Arizona, a few miles north of the U.S.-Mexico border, where in 2010 a man named Jesus Castro Romo was shot in the stomach by a U.S. Border Patrol agent while he was trying to enter the U.S. illegally.
We crossed the border at 6 in the morning. Then the coyote told us to wait for him there because there was a lot of Border Patrol there. Then they told us to run.
He describes his encounter with a border agent on horseback when he was caught, as he calls it, somewhere near the line. He claims the agent hit him several times with the horse's reins as he tried to find cover.
I told him, calm down. Why are you hitting me? Calm down. And then he told me, I'm going to shoot you.
And he did. Castro was shot in the side. The bullet grazed his spine and lodged in his stomach.
And when I fell, he was pointing at my head, from here to where my dad is sitting, and he told me, I'm going to kill you, you son of a bitch. Don't move. I'm going to shoot you in the head, he told me.
The agent didn't shoot Castro a second time. Instead, he went for medical help. When he returned, more than an hour later, the agent accused Castro of trying to hit him in the head with a rock. Statistics gathered from Customs and Border Protection and our investigation show fatalities involving agents have increased between 2008 and 2012. The time period we examined. In many of the cases, the border agents claimed the migrants were throwing rocks. Castro is now suing the American government, a gutsy move for a Mexican citizen who entered the country illegally. He points to scars on his stomach, his side, and along his back. He takes several pain medications every day and walks with a cane. In court documents, the government argues force was necessary against Castro. The document reads, "Plaintiff, who was suspected of committing the felony of illegal entry into the United States, was attempting to avoid arrest, and the agent was justified in using physical force to effect a lawful arrest and prevent escape." William Reisner is Castro's lawyer.
The government should care about its agents behaving properly.
Reisner says the lawsuit is about money. Castro can no longer work and feed his family. But Reisner says justice should be served too.
When you see that no matter what happens, they don't get prosecuted. And when you sue them and they don't cooperate and give you information and try to arrive at just results and just behave like the worst of the insurance companies, I mean, it's wrong.
Joining me is iNewsSource reporter Roxana Popescu. Roxana, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Joanne.
I want to talk, first of all, about some numbers. You mentioned in your report that in the period of time that you looked at, the number of fatalities had actually increased. Can you break down those numbers for us?
Yeah, sure. So in fiscal year 2008, there was 1 death. In 2009, there were 2. In 2010 and 2011, there were 5 deaths in each of those years, and then so far this year, there have been 4 deaths.
Now, I know you also contacted Customs and Border Protection to comment on this story. You did get a statement. I want to show our audience, in part, what the statement reads. They say the overwhelming majority of CBP employees and officers perform their duties with honor and distinction, working tirelessly every day to keep our country safe. CBP takes every allegation of misconduct seriously and fully cooperates in the investigation of such allegations. Now, you did, however, get a chance to speak with the president of the union representing Border Patrol agents. What did he say?
He said that it's gotten to be a lot more dangerous on the border as agents are being ordered to patrol closer to the U.S.-Mexican border. And so it's just a more dangerous moment for them.
I also heard, too, on your report earlier today that he mentioned that he has some concern that if, in fact, these numbers are going up of fatalities, he says he's worried, too.
Yeah, at the end of our conversation, he said he's concerned that, the agents are being put in a position where they would need to resort to force, 14 times fatally in the past few years. So he said that's concerning.
Now, you're going to be back tomorrow for part 2. What can we expect?
We're going to be looking there at the challenges of prosecuting these cases. There's a lot of different pressures, political pressures, evidence challenges. So we're going to be speaking with some lawyers, county attorney in Arizona, and look at some of the cases in depth.
Okay, iNewsSource reporter Roxana Popescu, thanks for being here. I want to send our audience to our website because there's so much more information. I know there's video, there's a lot of photos, kpbs.org/deadly patrols.
Thank you, Joanne.
New troubles tonight for San Diego-based Bridgepoint Education. The company faces a class action lawsuit a week after its for-profit Ashford University was denied accreditation. The suit was filed on behalf of shareholders. It claims Bridgepoint didn't disclose problems with Ashford over the past year. Capital One will have to repay millions of credit card customers who were allegedly tricked into buying costly add-on services. The bank will pay $210 million in refunds and regulatory fines. It's the first enforcement action by the Obama administration's new consumer watchdog agency.
The continuing growth of Latinos in the U.S. makes them a key voting bloc this November. Some experts say the best way to reach them may be online. Joining us is Fronteras Desk social media editor Jose Luis Jimenez. Jose, you did 2 stories on this recently. Tell me, why are the campaigns using online to reach this population?
Well, recent studies have shown that more and more Latinos are using the internet to communicate online, especially on social media sites. They index much higher than the average population. That's basically because they use it as a way to communicate with their homeland and to keep in touch with news there. So obviously, campaigns need to go where the voters are, and since more and more Latinos are going online, that's where campaigns are heading.
Well, we know they're online, but who's online specifically? Because I know a lot of moms and grandparents that are very active on Facebook. Are they targeting all Latinos online or a specific age group, let's say younger voters?
Yes, they are targeting all Latinos online, but studies have shown that younger Latinos tend to be online than older Latinos. That's because they have more access to the internet, and they're also using smartphones to get on the internet, whereas older Latinos do not use these smartphones, and they have less internet access in their homes. So basically, when the messages do go out, they tend to go to younger Latinos.
Okay, and what kind of tactics are they using? We just saw some, definitely Facebook pages, but what else are they using?
Right, like you mentioned, there's Facebook, Twitter, social media sites, but then they're also setting up more traditional methods. For example, both campaigns have Spanish language websites that they have content all translated into Spanish, and some of that content also includes videos.
So in some video, let's take a look right now, see what we've got here.
Ahora te toca a ti tomar control sobre tu futuro y defender a tu familia. Regístrate a votar.
Soy Barack Obama y apruebo este mensaje.
Lo que ha logrado en su vida lo ha hecho trabajando duro, y es con esta misma dedicación que luchará para encaminar nuestro país y crear empleos. Los invito a conocerlo y escuchar sus ideas.
Soy Mitt Romney y apruebo este mensaje.
So this vote, as we just saw, this election, they're using these Spanish-speaking advertisements, YouTube videos, online, but this is also crossing over into the convention world. Tell us about that, especially when it comes to the bloggers.
Yes, I talked to a group called Latism, which is an acronym for Latinos in Social Media, and both of the campaigns extended invitations to them to bring bloggers to the convention. And they will get access, probably 1 or 2 bloggers will actually get access into the hall and be able to blog live from the convention. But the group has decided to take it one step further, and they're actually going to get a location near the convention site to invite more bloggers to come, they say from all political stripes because they're nonpartisan, and then to invite people from the campaign and candidates to come and sit down and talk to them to try and reach a broader audience.
This sounds like this is something that campaigns now actually have to include, whether it's bloggers or social media, because it's happening with or without them.
Yes, it all started in 2004 under Howard Dean's campaign when he was trying to run for the nomination for the Democratic Party. And basically, Obama took Dean's the team that created basically this online presence and gave them funding. And in 2008, we really saw it take off with both campaigns. And now in 2012, it basically is essential.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And then how responsive, we see all this going on, how responsive is the online audience? Are we getting results?
That's the key. A recent study found that basically if you're young and you're like politics and you're online, it is reaching that audience. But there is still some doubt as to whether it actually gets somebody who's maybe not that interested in politics. Are they looking at the Facebook ads? Are they going to these websites? And is it motivating them to vote? That is a question that has not been answered. But political scientists believe that they will focus on that in this election, and they might have some answers after November.
And there is a specific goal with these online interactions. There's a term for it, engage. So talk a little bit about that.
Of course. The whole idea, like any ad, like a mailer you get in your mailbox or a television ad you see, the whole point is to get somebody to do an action, which is basically either volunteer for the campaign, go out and knock on doors, talk to your neighbors about the candidate, or actually get out and vote. So basically this online activity is trying to spur an offline activity. And that's the connection where political scientists are not so sure whether it's working or not.
So we're going to find out in November?
Of course.
That's by elections, by post polls? How will we know if this is working?
Well, exactly. They'll see, first of all, by turnout, who turns out to vote and who they're voting for. And then second, afterwards, I'm sure they'll conduct studies afterwards to talk to these individuals to see what got them out to vote.
All right. Jose Luis Jimenez, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
A federal judge has turned down a request to freeze California's ban on foie gras. That's the fatty liver of a duck or a goose which was force-fed, a process animal rights activists say is cruel. Restaurant owners say the law banning the sale of the gourmet favorite is too vague and unconstitutional. While they lost their request for an emergency injunction, the judge did set another hearing for next month. It's opening day for the 75th anniversary of the Del Mar horse racing season. The track has broken attendance records 7 years straight, and this year features a new race starter who's worked his way up from the bottom. You can sense and smell the excitement in the air even before the first race starts. People come from near and far to see and be seen. Nearly 47,000 showed up on opening day last year, setting a new attendance record. There's also a new man behind the starters gate.
Well, I'm John Lopez, and I'm the official starter here now.
Lopez has seen 26 Del Mar openers, but this will be his first as the head starter. He replaces Gary Brinson, who was forced to return home to care for his ailing father. Lopez literally worked in the trenches for 35 years as a starting gateman. Before today's big opportunity, he says it's all about timing.
Yeah, I'm looking for that first split second of silence. Once the last horse hits that gate, I'll look for my man to get up on the ledge, turn around, and point that horse down the track. And if I get that first split second of silence, boom, I'll just hit it. Lopez is a big hit among the jockeys, including Chantal Sutherland, the new poster girl for the Del Mar racetrack.
He's one of my favorite, gate crew to come to. He just calms his hands. His timing is nice. He's soft with the horses. I love you. I love having you. I'll miss you in the gate, but I'm glad you're starting this year.
And San Diego native and former jockey turned horse owner Jeff Bloom agrees.
The starter that understands the perspective of what it's like standing inside the stall with the horses and knowing how to manage and manipulate horses when they're in there is key.
But the horses aren't the only things attracting attention here. It's the biggest social event of the year, and it's easy to get lost in a sea of hats. Big hats and bigger hats, and some so elaborate they could probably fly away on their own, if you know what I mean. The faces may have changed since 1947, when Jack Dempsey, Jimmy Durante, and Al Jolson were regulars, but the crowds keep coming 75 years after the first race along the coast in Del Mar. Opening day usually draws the biggest crowds. The horse races at Del Mar run through September 5th. Thomas Jefferson once said, "Do not put off until tomorrow what you can do today," but that's the exact opposite advice of a new book called Wait. It promotes procrastination. Peggy talks with the author at the roundtable.
A new book called Wait encourages readers to take their time making up their minds. In fact, it suggests waiting until the last possible moment to make some decisions. And it just may be considered the answer to the popular book Blink, which promotes making choices in the blink of an eye. Joining me to talk about his new book, Wait, is USD law professor and former investment banker Frank Partnoy. Frank, thanks for being here. What inspired you to write a book on the virtues of taking your time and waiting?
Well, there are really two things. One is that I've always been a procrastinator, and I bristled at being told that that was bad. So I wanted to study procrastination and delay and try to figure out when it's good and when it's bad. That was one reason. And another was that I discovered that Lehman Brothers had constructed a decision-making course back in 2005 and gotten just about everything they could possibly get wrong. They instructed 4 of their top employees to go with their gut. This is back in 2005, before the financial crisis. They had Malcolm Gladwell come in and deliver the capstone lecture. He had just written Blink. And then, of course, they made the worst snap decisions in the history of financial markets. So I wanted to try to, didn't pan out, and I wanted to try to reflect new research and write a new lesson plan for Wall Street and for all of us.
Why do you think it's important for everyday decisions?
Well, I think for most of us, we are affected by the crush of technology, constant email and social media and 24-hour news, and it's speeding up our decisions. And so in reacting to just the crush of everyday life, we're going to necessarily be faster and faster, and we're hardwired to be faster. So I think we need to resist that as much as we can.
Do most of us, average people, do we make our decision intuitively, analytically? Do we make our list? How do most people do it?
Most people use a combination of those two. Those are the two key poles of decision making, using intuition or analysis. And really the key to good decision making is figuring out when you're an expert and you can go with your intuition, and when you need to take a step back, realize that you're a little bit more of an amateur, and be more analytic.
Speaking of amateur versus professional, in your book you talked about people who have to make snap decisions, let's say tennis players, race car racers, and you talked about this 500 millimeter barrier, this line. Tell us about that.
Yes, it's remarkable, but we cannot think consciously in less than half a second, 500 milliseconds. And there are all these sports like tennis or baseball or cricket, actually, that are super fast. And scientists who study those sports have found that the very best professional athletes are just a tiny, tiny bit slower than amateurs, about 50 milliseconds slower. What they're able to do is, with that tennis ball coming in, with the baseball coming in, they're able to delay their stroke until the last possible millisecond so that they can spend more time processing information about the speed and trajectory of the ball. And that kind of metric, that kind of approach, works well for longer-term decisions that we all have to make in the conscious field as well as professionals in the unconscious field.
One conscious decision that we often have to make is about dating. And in your book, you talked about how this relates to decision-making in dating and making snap decisions versus making in-depth decisions. Tell me more about that.
This also was surprising to me, but with all of the social media and online dating, people are using photos more and more to react to dates and to decide who they want to go out with. And research suggests that that's the most dangerous thing that you can do, that the things that matter for a relationship are chemistry and compatibility, and you can't tell that from a photo. I spent some time with and interviewed the president of It's Just Lunch, the international dating network, and interestingly, they're quite successful and will not let their clients see photos because they think people will snap react to the photos, and they tell people, take your time making a decision. Take lunch. Take an hour. An hour is about the right amount of time to process information about a prospective person, someone you might want to have a relationship
want to date with.
And then at the end, at the very, very end of lunch, ask just one question: would you like to go out with this person again? And don't make snap decisions during the early phases.
Okay, so take a little bit of time, but an hour, I got that on the date.
No longer than an hour, though.
No longer than an hour. Can you briefly just tell me the top 3 key messages in your book?
Well, the first key message is that there's a 2-step decision-making process that successful and happy people follow, which is first, figure out what time world you're living in and what is the maximum amount of time you can take to make a decision. And that might be a second or it might be a minute. And then second, wait as long as you possibly can within that time frame. So this is a kind of 2-step decision-making framework that people can use. A second message is, be comfortable with delay. Manage delay instead of letting delay manage you. Be comfortable taking a step back. A lot of the CEOs I interviewed would carve out an hour in their day to make sure that they would have time to reflect and think about strategy. And then a third one is procrastination is not evil. We should be comfortable procrastinating. It used to be the case that procrastination was regarded very favorably. The Greeks and the Romans loved procrastinators. It was a source of wisdom. And we got off on the wrong track, really, in the 18th century first, where the Puritan work ethic led us to feel bad about procrastination, and especially more recently, where there's been a kind of anti-procrastination industry that makes us all feel terribly guilty about putting things off.
So procrastination, not so bad. I'm not going to procrastinate anymore. I have to say goodbye to you, Frank. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's been great.
Tonight in the public square, according to the most recent campaign finance disclosure forms filed with the Federal Elections Commission, Republican Congressman Brian Bilbray has outraised Port Commissioner Scott Peters, a Democrat, almost 2-to-1 in the race for the 52nd Congressional District. But as our media partner Investigative News Source reports, individual donors are almost perfectly split for the two candidates. From individual donors, Bilbray collected $569,000, while Scott Peters collected $562,000. That light blue bar shows that Peters has also loaned his own campaign more than $1 million. Rami Zomiski wasn't impressed with either candidate's fundraising. On Facebook, she wrote, "One of the great things about my time in New Zealand was to see their political process, a process where the candidates had the same amount of cash and only a few months to campaign. It was not this year-long highest earner gets the most exposure crap." You can join in on this conversation or other stories you've seen here on KPBS by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, or just email us at publicsquare@kpbs.org.
And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. You have a great night.